Whether you are looking for a small skiff to fish the sound or rivers or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Here we go.
We've got a ballistic solution app on my...
Tuna grounds are on the ocean, Tommy. We're going to do that. Don't go anywhere.
We've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish Hunt Northwest, Dwayne England. And yes, this here is Tommy Donlin back in the studio, buddy.
Yeah, good to be back.
Good to be back.
Well, kind of good to be back. I mean, it's hunting season. I could hunt every day.
Well,
I really could.
Yeah. Well, you're in between trips or excursions currently, so I got you back in studio at least for a week, maybe two. I guess we'll see how his week goes. But Tommy is back tonight. Lots of things to cover, man. We got a 1 hour fully packed show with tons of info to get through. Glad you're back joining me. 6 p.m. Thursday evening, we are live from the Fish Hunt Northwest studios, and so glad you could join us. I want to remind everybody that Fish Hunt Northwest is presented by Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons Real Estate, located in Puyallup, Washington. Joe Maxwell and team is there to assist all your real estate needs. Of course, our good buddies, Tommy, we cannot mention often enough, down at Defiance Marine. Check out everything they got going on at Defiance Marine, defiancemarine.com. The manufacturers, the Arima, the Allied, and of course the Defiance Boat Series. And our good friends over there at Phoenix Protective Corp, phoenixprotectivecorp.com. You know, there's a lot of work available out there, but if you are former and or partially retired military and or former police, check out Phoenix Protective Corp. They are hiring folks all the time and have a heck of a business to go to work for. They love to take care of their people, and an outstanding company that does just that. So, Tommy, hey, our new friends, by the way.
Yeah.
Check these guys out.
And this is good coffee, by the way. Yeah.
So we have partnered with Fisherman's Brew. Fisherman's Brew is a grassroots company here in the Northwest. These boys are hitting it hard and running fast, kicking out a couple of great blends right now. Got the Steelhead blend and the Chinook salmon blend. I'm telling you, tasty, tasty stuff.
I've had the salmon blend,
Yeah.
and this was awesome.
Yep.
But I'm really excited about the Steelhead blend because that's a little bit darker roast. It's a French roast.
Yep. So great coffee, and they're doing good things with the money they're making. 5%.
That's right, 5%.
5% of the proceeds, or 5% of their net, is going back into salmon conservation, salmon recovery. So check them out, fishermansbrew.com. At least spend a few bucks, get a couple bags of their first blends that they've come out with, and it helps contribute back into our salmon recovery. So we are very proud and pleased to welcome them on board as partners here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Fisherman's Brew, check them out at fishermansbrew.com. Tommy, last week when I was solo, I did a bit of a recap on the WDFW Steelhead Town Hall that they had earlier in the week. Okay, that would be part 2 of the 4-part series that they're putting out there for folks to pay attention to. And the reason I bring that up is because they have once again put their announcements out there. Now you can go to wdfw.wa.gov, click on the news tab. It's going to bring up the latest and greatest news bullet points from WDFW. The next town hall, virtual town hall, is scheduled for November 9th at 5 p.m. This will be part 3, or the 3rd installment of this workshop, right? There are a lot of questions being generated as to the future of the management of Steelhead as we know it. I broke it down for you guys last week. Hopefully you caught most of that information I was putting out there. It falls in line with, and if you have 15 minutes, and I also put that post on our Facebook page, a very well put together from WDFW recap of all that's been going on in these Steelhead meetings and these town hall virtual presentations. James Losey's information, the graphs, the charts. What it shows is that we are in dire straits here, and that is about a 15-minute read that you can get onto our Facebook page, or you can go to WDFW's Facebook page. But we made it nice and simple for you. Put it on our Facebook page, and folks can just read your way on through that. The nice thing about what they've done in this installment is it answers a lot of the questions that are more commonplace in these meetings. Like these questions keep coming up, and so they provided answers, right? And I think it's important that folks read that stuff. Now, the one that people are drilling down on, Tommy, is some of the 4 options that they're really looking at. Coast-wide closure, last year's regulations implemented once again, last year's regulations with reduced days, or status quo with reduced days per week. Now, I kind of alluded to last week, the writing's kind of on the wall. I actually think this is going to land somewhere hard on the rules that were implemented last year, are here to stay for a while. And I think we're looking at reduced days. But the reason I bring this up again this week as a quick reminder here at the opening of the show is because I want you guys to go to our Facebook page, read through that information, wrap your head around the questions that are being answered, wrap your head around the options that are on the table, and then take some time on November 9th, 5 p.m., dial it up. The links are all provided via WDFW, and listen to what the discussion has. And then be aware of the fact that on the 19th of November, they're presenting this information to the commission, who ultimately will have a say in how they're going to lower the hammer on this thing.
And do you know how the public's input is being taken during these meetings? I mean, Travis kind of pointed out in the chat, he goes, do you think this is all smoke and mirrors? Or is there something tangible that's going to come from this discussion?
Yeah, I don't really think at this point it's smoke and mirrors. It's easy to beat up on WDFW, and they do screw up on a handful of things, but they are doing a lot of things right as well. And you have people that are working towards the management and saving our steelhead fisheries, whom I know a handful of them, and these folks are passionate anglers. They're passionate about their fisheries. They're passionate about their science. And they understand and recognize that a success of this program is a success for everybody. A failure is a failure for everybody. They don't want to have that failure on their shoulders and on their watch, right? So they're trying to do what they can to bring these numbers back. It's all based on wild numbers. Hatchery fish don't matter. It all comes down to the wild spawner escapement, and that's truly the goal. So when it comes to, is this truthfully what's going on? Are the co-managers being forthcoming with their info? Can we all actually get in the same sandbox and agree to everybody's, information? I'm at the point after so many years of going, yes, I honestly believe we can, okay? And I think we should, if we're truly going to get to the next level of bringing this back. So whatever else, what we have been doing isn't working. So if we continue to repeat ourselves of what's not been working for years and years and years,
right.
How do we expect a different outcome?
I think that's the definition of insanity.
That is the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
So just make a note of that. November 9th, 5 p.m., tune in to the WDFW presentation, round 3 of the Steelhead virtual haul. And I think it's going to be worth your time. All right. And in that light, knowing that our Steelhead season may be minimized, Tommy, we're just going to have to be out doing other things. Okay?
Yeah.
We're just going to have
Which is A-okay with me.
We're just going to have to get out there and go after different things. And I think the Eastside will be calling us from time to time. We got some walleye fishing to go after.
Yeah.
We have some triploids that you are very fond of.
Yes,
we have
I
some
am.
big kokanee to go over there and chase. We have some waterfowl to get after. And oddly enough, some of that segues into the very information that we're providing this evening and some of the guests we have lined up. So quickly, running down the show, we are going to once again tie in with Eric Braaten, Max Lure Pro. Eric is a good friend of ours over on the east side. We spent some time with him, not only in the boat for walleye, but turkey hunting, and we had him on about muzzleloader. Hey man, we're talking walleye, and you guys are not going to believe how good the walleye fishing is right now on the east side. You're going to get Eric on the phone here after the break, and he's going to show you exactly how good it is and why. Tommy, then we're going to take some time midway through the show here and catch up with you. That's right, our little buddy is back in studio in a full recap of your very successful elk hunt in Idaho. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about that and lessons learned. Then later on the show, we're going to get our buddy Shelby Ross. Everybody knows Shelby Ross, Outdoor Adventures, over there at the Potholes area. He runs the Potholes Taxi. And his words, hey, Shelby, how good is the duck hunting? He basically said insane. It is absolutely insane. And to think it can be this good this early in the season, Shelby's going to tell us why and why we need to get over there. And we're going to do just that. Well, at least I am, and our buddy JJ Dial, after tonight's show, flame run over to Potholes. That's right, getting in the truck, getting out of the studio after the show, getting to the east side, and waking up in the morning in Potholes to go blast some ducks, and then turn and burn and come back home. So is it worth it to go over for one morning of shoot ducks? Heck yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Shelby said, I got space. You have time, get over here, let's get some ducks. So that's going to be the goal tomorrow morning. As you wake up, we'll be in the duck blind. And
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. Once we hit shooting light, it's going to be full on. The beauty of that, I'm going to do everything I can to bring that to our followers and fans live from the duck blind, Potholes. We'll be blasting ducks. You'll be sitting in your cubicle at work or whatever it is you got going on, driving, stuck in traffic. You can turn us on and be there virtual.
You're really pouring it on thick, man.
Hey, man, be there virtual. Be there in the duck blind with us tomorrow morning about 7 a.m. when shooting light takes off at 7:30. We're going to be blasting ducks. Want you to be part of that. But we'll get into that a little more with Shelby as we get through the show. So with that, we'll jump out for a quick break. We come back, don't go anywhere. Eric Braaten will be on the phone. You want to go get some walleye, Tommy?
Yes.
Want to go get some walleye?
I wanted to do it last year.
I know.
and you let me down.
Okay. This year, winter walleye, this cold season, fall walleye, we'll get on that. We'll get on that with Eric Braaten. We come back right after this break right here at Fish Hunt Northwest.
Portco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. Narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy, nice fish. Oh, beauty, gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, oh, no, geez, come on.
Nice fish, nice fish.
Hey, welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. New England Tommy Donlin. I'm going to throw a couple numbers at you. 23 in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. Remember that.
Remember that. 23 in 2 hours. Because when we're at break and on the phone with our guest who is waiting patiently, he starts throwing numbers at you and you just kind of go, what? Anyway, Eric Braaten with Mack's Lure. Walleye phenom, apparently.
Yeah.
So, sounds like you had a pretty good day in the water there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty blessed. So, I mean, I live on the lake and, you know, I do a lot of fishing. So,
yes, you do.
Yeah, it was a great afternoon. Got out there and got on my spot and just started putting fish in the boat. But I released all of them. I didn't keep one fish, and my biggest was 26 inches.
Wow.
The smallest was 19. So, yeah, it was a phenomenal few hours of fishing. So I hit it just right.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. And so, you know, you're not only a walleye guru and an accomplished hunter on top of that, but you you also had quite the Halloween costume. I just wanted to cover this really quickly.
Good point.
I was scrolling through Facebook and I go, oh, there's Bobby Loomis.
Yes.
I wonder what he's doing. And then I look closer and it's Eric Braaten dressed as Bobby Loomis. Right. I just got to give you credit for that. That costume was on point.
Nailed it.
You nailed it.
Yes, 100%.
With that said,
Appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
That's a classic.
I gotta ask. So, what is your? You know, we were talking about jigs at the break. Can you talk a little bit about that tactic? What you're doing, what size jigs, what color patterns, kind of give us the A to Z on those jigs.
Yeah, so the sonic bait fish that Mack produces it's basically a lead jig that, you know, comes in different sizes. They go from 1/16 ounce all the way up to 1 ounce. Comes in a variety of colors, and they have different attachment points. And the attachment point that I'm using is in the middle, and it acts more like a blade bait, and it gives a horizontal profile. And as you drop that to the bottom, I'm using a 1/4 ounce right now, but I've used 1/2 ounce. But 1/4 ounce seems about a 2-inch profile. And the walleyes right now on all the 8 lakes in eastern Washington, Potholes, Moses, Lake Roosevelt especially, and Banks, and even the rivers down at Pasco, Umatilla, the walleyes are putting on the feed bag, and a lot of this year's perch, you know, last year's spawn are, you know, in that 1.5 inch to 2 inch range, and where I'm fishing are these, you know, the kind of the areas that are adjacent to big open bays where the perch where they grew up, right in the weeds. And as we're losing daylight and the temperatures get cold in the fall, those weeds start to decay and die, and those bait fish lose cover. Right. And so they kind of exit, and look for warmer water in the deeper stretches of the lake. And so all your areas where you have deep water points, next to shallow waters or creeks, like on Roosevelt, deeper points that are near weed lines or old weed lines. Those are areas that I like to target. Down in the potholes, for instance, you're outside of the dunes, you got those deeper humps. Those are where those fish will go. And they're chasing these minnows down that are trying to find any cover that, they can. And today I caught a smallmouth, a ling, and a walleye. So it's, wow. Everything's after this bait, you know. So, and I caught them all on the same bait. And you just drop it right to the bottom. You make just like a blade bait. If you're casting, you wait till it hits the bottom, and then you're bringing it back up with a retrieve, where you're vibrating it and making that, vibrate so that they can, find it, as it's down there. Plus they can see it. And, I'm just, I can do it really subtle, just a little bit off the bottom, or really erratically, bring it in. Try to get them be more aggressive with it. So it really didn't matter today. I dropped it to the bottom several times, and they already had it on. I mean, so they were like, they saw the dust cloud that it made or whatever, and they thought it was a dying perch, and they just jumped on it. So.
Hey, Eric, talk a little bit about what kind of compels you to do this type of presentation versus, say, trolling. I equate some walleye fisheries, obviously, different times of the year with the troll type of presentation. This is something different that definitely is more of a cold water approach, or what's the deal?
Well, it's kind of just walleyes are fun because you can catch them. I could go out there and troll cranks and catch them. I could troll. Jigs, I could use jigs with worm and catch them. I could use blade baits, there's lots of ways to catch them, but this way, we just really, caught on to it the last couple of years to rig it, off the middle pull point. And, it's really caught on. J-Rod down in Pasco, he's used it, a couple of the other pro staff guys are getting involved, and they're trying it on their bodies of waters and finding good luck with it. So, it's more of a kind of a new approach to, catching fish. And it's fun how they hit it, cause you can feel it. They just dunk it, it's an amazing bite, and, they're on, I lost a few fish today, but, when we were out there last year filming with the Mack guys, Bob and some of the film crew out there, it was a fun fish because everybody was really enjoying it, being on the bottom, but and using that new approach. So, I could go out to Roosevelt right now and troll, wally pops, any type of smile blade, any type of, off of a bottom walker, and have just as good as results. There's guys up north towards Colville jigging really deep with blade baits and different types of things. And catching walleyes. Down in Pasco, they're still pulling cranks, and they're doing some blade baiting already. So potholes are already hitting the blades, down there. Yeah. So I mean, it's just a preference because it's just a fun way to fish. I don't have to go buy night crawlers and all that. But yeah, it's a really neat way to use that bait. That sonic bait fish comes in, like I said, an ounce size, which, if you want a bigger profile. And then later in winter, I'm catching fish all the way through, March, and things will slow down when the temps, slow down. But I still find those fish maybe a little bit deeper out on some different points and off some, where the flats drop off. And we're still pulling up fish. It's just, not as aggressive as right now. They're really gorging on the fish right now. So.
So, I'm completely, in terms of Washington State, I'm completely new to the walleye fishery. And so, putting yourself in somebody that is new but wants to get into this fishery, you've got a number of lakes that have a good number of walleye in them. You have Banks Lake, Lake Roosevelt, and some other bodies of water. And you talked a little bit about like the structure that you really want to look for. So you're looking for, you know, the deep water hump. And I guess, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what is Eric talking about? Is he talking about, you know, 20 feet? Is he talking about 100 feet? And can you just describe like what would be your approach if you were a new walleye angler and you're going to get into it? You've got all the gear, but now you have to pick your location. I mean, just thinking about Lake Roosevelt, that is a huge body of water. How do I zone in on a particular part of the river to get some walleye?
Right. So a lot of the fish, you know, they're transitioning right now. So they were just in, and there's still some fish in shallow, you know, in our weed lines on banks and probably in potholes and also in Roosevelt are, you know, right around that 25 to 30 foot, you know, edge. And off of those are, you know, we call them weed fences, you know, and I'll troll 27 to 30 feet, you know, with bottom walkers and worms most of the summer. And I might go shallower with cranks, you know, and try to pull some of those fish off of the you know, that are in the weeds, and off those little pockets, you know, on the backside of the weeds. And when you get to this time of year, these fish will go a little bit deeper. They tend to go, you know, down following the bait fish, you know, and these bait fish, you know, we have in banks in Roosevelt, there's guys catching walleyes in 150 feet. And then in banks, you know, you can find them anywhere from 30 to 60 feet right now. Right. And then in potholes, you know, it's been kind of shallow this year in potholes, the water table. So you kind of have to adjust your approach, but you want to stick to the, you know, looking for fish with your fish finder in the deeper sections and then move shallower right now. But, you know, you're talking, you know, these bigger fish, they're kind of nomadic and they kind of, you know, run around. I caught an 11 pounder a few weeks ago. You probably saw some pictures.
Yeah, we did.
That thing was a toad. And it came in 35 feet of water, and those fish are still moving deeper. You know, they were shallower, and you know, you can find them in 40 to 45 feet. And then out in Roosevelt, there's guys catching them, you know, even deeper than that. So it all depends on the body of water. But I use my fish finder a lot. I try to, you know, these are predatory fish. They like ambush, you know, areas. If you have current in a river, it's easier to figure stuff out because you have a lot of current breaks, you know, where you're trying to find where these fish like to lay. And in a lake, it's a little bit different, you know, or a reservoir. You're looking for more, you know, more where the bait are going to go, you know, so you're looking for, you know, those creek areas, you know, where you have some flow, maybe some of those points is ambush, you know, where these fish they'll come up out of the deep up to these points to feed at night. And even our reservoirs have wind current, and when it's windy, like today it was really windy, and I was fishing, you know, this hump, and I was fishing basically the top end of the hump, and there was fish stacked there, and it was because of the wind primarily. It wasn't because of anything else. And those bait were coming through there too, but they were there because it was a good ambush, you know, spot. So you just really have to pay attention to the conditions of the lake, you know, where the wind's blowing into that shoreline. Maybe looking at the current, is it a strong current? You know, are they really blowing down, you know, from the dam? Up at Wells Dam, they got a phenomenal bite going right now, right below the dam, you know. So all of our dams, you know, the walleyes are just eating really heavy and trying to put on that fat for, you know, laying some more eggs coming next spring and getting through winter and all that. But, you know, they're really doing well this year in a lot of the lakes.
One quick question before we got to go here, Eric. We never have enough time. We got so much info to get through with you. But a couple folks are asking if you're putting any scent on those sonic bait fish when you're presenting those, any scent at all.
Yeah, I'm using the Max or Procure, that walleye, the walleye scent that I, you know, and then there's some other types of scent that they make from Procure, but it's you know, it's more of a gel, and they make a sonic baitfish gel, which really sticks to it. And Max puts it out on their website. And I've been using that, you know, every 4 or 5 casts, you know, I'll juice it up again, but it really sticks to that bait really well.
Nice.
So other than that, Yeah, it's just it's a pretty easy presentation, and you know, it's fun to do because, you know, you could take anybody out there and teach them how to do it. You know, it's just a fun fish.
You think Dwayne would get it?
I might be able to figure it out.
Totally.
Even I could do it, yeah. I tell you what, Eric, I think we're going to have to take a look at the calendar here, and between Tommy's hunting trips, even if we got to make a flame run over like we're doing for ducks tomorrow, but we could bounce on over there, bring the cameras, get some of this on video with you, and show the folks exactly how you're presenting this and why you're so doggone successful. I think folks would really appreciate us taking the time to get with you on the water. I know we would appreciate taking time.
I would appreciate it, yeah.
We'd like to get some of those
I've been wanting to do this for a while.
I know. So we'll break out the calendars. We'll get it scheduled. We'll come on over there and make it a day and get Tommy some walleye in his belly for sure. Always a pleasure, my friend. Always good to have you on. Appreciate the info, and we will be in touch.
You bet.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right.
We'll see you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Eric Braaten with Mack's Lure, just a standout when it comes to walleye. Richie Harrod popped on here and said, Eric is the walleye whisperer, and yes, he is. He absolutely is. Just a great guy.
Wealth of information.
Yes, in any facet of what we're doing, right? I mean, you go over there and hang out with him, you're going to find success, you're going to learn some stuff, hands down. All right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back, Tommy, front and center stage, buddy boy.
Let's do it.
Let's delve into this elk hunt you just recently returned from and talk about why you're so successful and a few of the takeaways and things that you learned that you're going to use on your next up-and-coming hunt. So don't go anywhere. Tommy Donlin here in studio on his elk hunt, successful elk hunt out of Idaho. We come back right here, Fish Hunt Northwest. A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
End of Watch Ride to Remember is a group from the state of Washington traveling across the country to honor fallen officers from 2019. End of Watch organizer Jagrut Shah says they want to show departments who've lost partners and friends they are not alone.
I wanted to bridge this gap that we have and bring back to the department, let the deputies or the officers know that their lost has not been forgotten.
In 2019, 146 officers were killed in the line of duty, and End of Watch Ride to Remember is on a mission to pay their respects to each of them.
For us, it's just important realizing that the men and women in blue everywhere
should remember that they haven't been forgotten. We're not forgetting them. We want the families to know that their loved ones have not been forgotten.
Welcome back to Fish Out Northwest. Wayne England, Tommy Donlin in studio here. Lots of great questions coming in this evening. Lots of folks online here, lots of activity. Keep those questions coming. We try to answer as many of those as we can, Tommy.
Yeah.
Because it helps keep folks involved in the show here. And a lot of people, obviously, Tommy, as we were reading the break here, really appreciated Eric's information on the walleye, and for good reason. I mean, he's one of the best around.
I mean, we could probably make a 3-hour seminar out of his.
Just him?
Just the walleye portion, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lots of information.
Absolutely. So, speaking of lots of information, there's a bit of it stuck up in your head that you're just waiting to puke out all over the floor here in the studio. So
that's an analogy for us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You just returned from Idaho on one of your first hunting trips on your calendar for this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And successful by all accounts. You guys went over there with a plan and sealed the deal. Let's kind of break that down. What were your intentions on, setting up this hunt, and how do you feel about the outcome, obviously?
Yeah, and so, really this was a brand new hunt for us.
Right.
Completely different area than where we've been hunting in Idaho. Spent 3 years up in the Panhandle in an area, and it was one of those things where, that area that we were in, there was just a lot of people. There's a lot of roads, a lot of easy access, and...
This with vehicles or off-road vehicles? Or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. But just too much access, right?
Just too much.
And we talked about this a couple episodes ago. We talked about, your approach to finding a public land spot to hunt. And my approach for elk, at least, is you got to get away from everybody, right?
Go where others don't want to go.
You have to be willing to do things
Yeah.
that nobody else is going to do.
Good point. Yep.
And so we picked a location where there was a good population of elk that fit that bill, where you see the elk, but it's a 2,600 foot climb and really steep, and just most people just aren't going to do it.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was very simply the criteria for this hunt that we put together for this year. The whole time we were in this area, we saw 2 other groups of hunters. That's it. And they were at their camps, not in the mountains.
Oh.
Right. So I consider that a success.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and day one we got some weather, and it was really crappy. It was wet, just raining cats and dogs. We had no visibility. Foggy. Yep. So we really couldn't glass at all. I mean, our main objective was to go in, set up, glass this mountainside, go further down, glass again, go further down, glass again, glass every spot that we had picked out, right? And then, from there, hopefully see elk and then put a move on them. But day one was just not conducive to that at all. And so we ended up doing a lot of driving around, just checking out area, seeing if we could find signs. A lot of times as you're driving through an area, you'll see major elk crossings, go across the road. You can tell if there's fresh tracks. It had snowed, right? Up at higher elevation. And so, you can pretty easily see elk here, elk not here, right? Get out, check your surroundings. And so it was more of that first day was more of a homework day.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. It did clear in the afternoon, and we were able to do a little bit of glassing, and we did spot about 6 elk up on the ridge.
I mean, if you're not going to a destination pre-season or prior to scouting, when you finally land there, your first couple days are going to be literally scouting and, looking and trying to find animals and seeing. And then, of course, as you just alluded to, that weather, you're thinking, oh, we got snow up there. Well, hopefully that'll at least push them down a little bit and keep them down at these lower levels, right? Or lower elevation, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And so we, as we ended the first day, and we had spotted kind of our first set of elk, we knew that that's kind of where we were going to start the next morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that first night, we were due for a snow, right? More at that lower elevation. And so, my concern was, okay, it's going to snow. How long is it going to snow into the second day? Are we going to have any visibility the second day? And so, of course, we wake up, there's 3 inches on the ground at our camp. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is going to get interesting.
You're thinking, this is why those people don't come up here. Yeah.
And so anyway, we make the trek out, and it is just everything's socked in. It's foggy, right? But as we're driving towards our destination, lo and behold, that snow had totally pushed all of those elk down.
Yeah.
It was like, you know,
Perfect.
just, you know, and we're driving and it's like, oh, there's some elk. You know, these are it's landlocked, right? It's not like I can, you know, pull over and put a stock on them.
Yeah.
Right. There's private property there behind it. But it's like, oh, there's 20 elk. Drive a little bit more further. There's 30 elk. Okay. So that snow, that weather that we got, you know, when you think about how much grass an elk has to eat, and you're thinking on the order of like 15 to 17 pounds, and they have to do that every day, that is their downfall, right? That is what gives us opportunity as hunters to be able to, you know, put a stock on them and harvest an animal.
Yeah.
And so they were down at lower elevation, and we had gone to a place, public land, where we had seen that group before, and they were still out. As we were watching them, they timbered, and we're thinking, okay, well, we're going to go up there. We're going to make the hike up the mountain, and we are going to sit on the opposite ridge and wait for them to come out and then put a move on them. Well, I'll get into the lessons learned, but they never came back out. Okay, long story short.
Lesson learned.
You know, we put a lot of work in getting up a very treacherous, steep mountain.
But you guys didn't pressure them at all.
We didn't.
They just decided not to come back out.
They just decided, for whatever reason, the way they were, you know, behaving. You know, and the thing that I'll say is, it was, you know, because of all the snow, it was extremely bright. It turned into a bluebird day. The fog went away, sun came out, and so it was very, very bright. You know, and the other thing is, with that snow on the ground, luckily we didn't have a full moon condition, because those animals can they'll see at night and they'll feed at night, and then they never have to come out in the clearing during the day.
Yeah, been there.
And so I think that it was just, they knew they were going to get their opportunity to feed later, and they knew that they didn't have to come out during the day, and they just didn't, right? And, you know, that kind of leads me to one of the lessons that I learned on this trip, is that, you know, you want to, you know, pursue elk that are out and about, and not necessarily just running back into the timber at first light. Because that, you know, in timber hunting, well, it is a form of hunting, but it is a low odds game with a rifle post rut.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more like what you did last year.
Yes,
right?
That's more like the game that we've been playing the past couple years.
Yeah.
And I did not want to do that again. So I don't want to chase these elk
in
the timber, bump them, push them, and now all of a sudden they're not even in the area at all. So we backed out of there. And then, you know, third day, same plan. We're going to go out, we're going to glass, we're going to find a group that is just non-assuming, feeding. We're going to put a stock on them, and that's how we're going to do this. And, you know, the first spot we glassed, we spotted them. They weren't that far away. They were only about a mile away. The herd was out. They were all feeding, just not pressured. Nothing was bothering them. It was like, you know, that's like the perfect scenario.
They're keeping their head down, grazing, not constantly looking up like it's just, you got to be on my hooves here, right?
You got it. You got it. And so, you know, where we were at the disadvantage is, you know, even though we saw them a mile away, there was nothing that was going to hide us from closing that gap, except for about, you know, 2.5 foot tall sagebrush. That was it. And, you know, we're not going to belly crawl 700 yards to close the gap, or more. And so we start making our way, and we try to stay as close to each other as possible, and try to limit our profile so that, you know, they don't see, you know, two big dudes walking through the sagebrush, right?
You guys single file?
Single file.
Narrow down?
Try to stay low. And it was a game of you know, red light, green light. Green light, red light,
one of your
right?
favorites growing up.
Yeah, right. You know, green light, you run. Red light, you stop, right?
Yeah. So when their head's down feeding.
So we'd kind of, you know, we'd pursue, we'd push forward, and then one of them would pick their head up and look our direction.
Sure.
We'd stop. You know, she'd look for a while, put her head down. We'd keep going. And there was, you know, what I found really interesting is that this group of elk, they were noisy, and the bull was still bugling. So there was still potentially some sort of second rut activity going on.
Yeah.
And they were still in full communication mode.
Interesting.
Which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Because that means that, you know, especially the bull, he's not thinking straight.
Sure.
Now, I didn't have a bull tag. These were cow tags only.
Right.
So we pushed forward. We play this game. And then we got it about 720 yards. And my hunting buddy, Herb, says, "Oh, this is close enough." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man? 720, you know?" And
720.
This is the, you know, we're going to talk about ballistics next week.
We are.
But
Yep,
this gets
absolutely.
into when you have too much confidence in your rifle and you're just like, "Oh, you know, 720 is good enough."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, Herb, we need to keep going."
Close the gap a little more.
So we closed the gap until we got to 540,
Okay.
and again playing the whole green light, red light game, and they were still. I mean, they had taken a couple steps forward, but the whole herd was still right there. You know, and this gets down to the kind of the second lesson learned is where your shooting situation that you find yourself in, you don't get to control that. So we're sitting there. Some of the sagebrush was pretty tall. It was 3 feet. Some of it was, you know, 1.5, 2 feet. Well, you got to shoot over that. You're not going to get prone. You've got to get your tripod out and you've got to find a way to get stable to make that shot, right? And we really felt that, you know, because it was so open between us and them, we didn't really feel like we could close the gap that much further without putting ourselves at risk and busting the herd. Oh yeah,
5'6",
yeah,
right?
we do a lot of long range shooting out to 1,000 yards, and
So you got the two of you there. You're at 540. You're feeling like, man, this is kind of our make it or break it here. We're not going to go in any tighter. And you got multiple cows sitting there. So there's a 1, 2, 3 squeeze.
Yeah.
I mean, simultaneous assault here.
And so what I had told Herb is, because he's got a suppressed 7mm mag, I told him, hey, you take the first shot, because, you know, you take the first shot, they're not going to hear your rifle, or they're going to hear it very little.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow up with a fully braked, you know, 338 Win Mag that is going to be extremely loud. It's going to blow your eardrums out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So we got set up on our tripods. We were communicating. You know, I was telling him like, "Oh, I'm not stable yet. I'm getting stable." You know, and with shooting off a tripod, you have to block your shooting elbow. So you have to find a way to close all the gaps in your body, right? You can't be resting on muscle, right? You should be resting bone to bone, or bone to rock, or bone to backpack. Everything needs to be completely solid, so that when you put that reticle on that animal, it's not dancing all over the place. And so we got about to as good a state as we were going to get, and I heard, you know, the ch of the suppressor, right? And I'm like,
what on the 1, 2,
and you know, so on the 1, 2, 3 thing, that doesn't really work.
No.
I mean, that's just kind of a recipe for one of you two making a bad shot. And so as soon as I heard him shoot, and we had already kind of picked, he was going to shoot left, I was going to shoot right, so I'd picked out a cow. And so as soon as I heard him shoot, I sent a round, and my round found its target. And you can still, even at 540 yards, you hear the thwap,
the melon.
Like you cannot, it's an unmistakable sound.
Yeah.
Double lunged her. I thought for a second that I had missed, because she took 2 steps forward and then she was still standing there,
Just
right?
stood there.
And so, you know, and with elk, and just, you know, in terms of, you know, making it an ethical harvest, I sent another round, hit her again. Sent a third round, hit her again. On the third round, she dropped. Okay. And Herb had similar results as well. He had sent 4, actually. He had four strikes on his elk. And then we were able to, you know, we saw them roll. We knew they were down, and we went forward, and you know, got to enjoy, right, the moment. The one thing I would say, you know, in terms of getting into lessons learned and kind of what I learned on this hunt, is that number one, if you're not seeing elk, you need to be moving. You need to be moving. You need to be doing something. Unless you are at, you know, a glassing spot that sees a lot of different area, and you're confident that at some point throughout the day you're going to see something in that zone, you need to keep moving and glassing, moving and glassing. That's number one. Number two, you know, and it really comes back to practice with shooting. We practice out to 1,000 yards. We're very comfortable with 500 or 600 yard shot at this point. That distance is different for everybody. Some people don't feel comfortable with that distance. They'll never take it, and that's totally fine. It's really up to you, but you have to be honest with yourself, because there's a lot of people out there that think, well, I bought a custom rifle, it shoots a 1/2-inch group at 100 yards, it's a half MOA rifle, I'll take any game at 1,000 yards, right? That is the wrong approach. That is the wrong approach.
There's a whole lot of distance there.
I'm not here to promote long shots or long range hunting or anything like that.
Yep.
It really depends on the individual. And then, you know, the other thing is that there's a couple things that make these shots a little bit easier in terms of optics. I've got a throw lever on my scope. And so when I'm finding the animal in my scope, I am zoomed out, find the animal, zoom in until I'm picking a very exact spot in the animal, and then pulling the trigger. Well, with the massive explosion that happens with the 338 Win Mag, or any Magnum for that matter, you're not maintaining target as that round goes down your barrel and exits, right? And so I'm unmagnifying, finding the animal again, and remagnifying, and that throw lever allows that to happen easily without moving the rifle all over the place.
Makes sense, yeah.
You know, the other thing is a cheek riser. You know, a lot of rifles don't come with a cheek riser. So in terms of your eye alignment to the scope, if you want a quick acquisition of the target, you have to be able to shoulder the rifle and see your target right away.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, if you're kind of like lollipopping your head and you're trying to get that eye relief just right, you're wasting time, and you're not going to be, if you're mounting the rifle different every time, it's going to send the round in a different location.
Sure.
So it affects your accuracy.
We're going to delve into that a little deeper on ballistics next week, for sure. Right?
Yes, we will.
So, nice recap. You guys slam dunk, got it done, 2 cows down, and then you had the luxury of getting to them, carving them all apart, hiking them out of there, multiple trips to the truck, couple miles each way.
Yeah, each pack out was only 1.8 miles.
Oh, that's not bad.
This was pretty easy.
Yeah. But, you know, like you said, you didn't see anybody out there other than at their own camp.
Right.
So the plan that you put in motion brought you success. So
absolutely.
Hats off to you. It was a good plan. Fantastic. All right, good stuff there, buddy. Glad you're back here to share that with us. And we'll get into that a little bit more even next week. Tommy's going to walk us through ballistics. Trust me, if you've heard this man talk ballistics in the past, you're going to want to tune in for that. He will teach you a thing or two and how to set up properly for those longer range shots and why he's so successful in doing so. All right, run a little bit late, but that's okay. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back, we're going to switch our gears and go a little bit to the east side once again and get our buddy Shelby Ross on, Ross Outdoor Adventures and the Potholes Duck Taxi. Going to be over there tomorrow morning with Shelby doing what he loves to do, shooting some ducks. We'll get him on the phone. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a couple minutes after this break right here, Fish Hunt Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21-foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
we go.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Winning the Tommy Donlin here in studio. Got our buddy Shelby Ross on the phone, Tommy. I can't wait to get you over there to experience this.
I know. It'll work out one of these days.
Got Dakota over there last year. Had a hunt with Bobby Loomis, and it's just always a good time. Shelby, how you doing, buddy?
Better than I deserved, Wayne. Always great to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you're extremely busy as duck hunting is taking off at a feverish rate here, and plenty of birds flying, man. Talk a little bit about this early first few weeks of the season and the numbers of birds you were seeing and how you think that's comparing to seasons past.
So it's early in the season. We do a ton of cast and blast trips where we duck hunt in the morning and walleye fish in the afternoon. And that's become a big draw to our October season. And years ago, no matter how good the hunting was, we never had very much business. People were chasing big game, kids sports, etc. And then November 1, the phone rings off the hook. And so we started this cast and blast deal, and it's totally changed the whole early season business model. But this year we had better duck numbers than I've seen in quite a few years, and a pretty consistent weather pattern where it'd be relatively calm in the morning, and the weatherman says 12 to 14 mile an hour winds in the afternoon, and it would blow 25 to 30, and it made for brutal walleye fishing. And you can't talk to the group, and guys, we can finish off our limit and bag the fishing, or we can go try and fight for a walleye or two. And so it was kind of a consistent pattern that made for not very good walleye fishing, but really good duck hunting.
Right.
So how's it going so far? I mean, I think I know the answer to this question, but what have you seen? What kind of success rates are you seeing right now?
Well, since I've been gone on Sunday, Nathan LaFrance is my right-hand man and runs the show when I'm out of town. And his groups since Sunday have had limits by 8:30. Today there were non-guided parties out, and one of them had limits just before 11, group of 4, and the other group of 2 only had a few ducks, but they said it was not from lack of opportunity.
There's lots of shooting going on.
Lots of shooting going on, just not lots of ducks hitting the water. So it sounds like a good number of ducks are flying. Weather is conducive to keeping them on the move pretty much most of the morning from what it's sounding like. Shooting lights at what, 7:30?
7:15.
7:15, and you got some groups getting limited by 8:30. 9 o'clock. That's some good shooting, along with lots of birds flying. So you got a nice mixture of birds. Are we getting many green heads already? Red heads? What do you got? What do you got going on?
It was a pretty consistent mix of teal and widgeon, with more than a few groups having to be careful with the pintail, with the 1 pintail per person limit.
Right.
And on opening day, a group of 4 said they could have shot pintail 15 times after they had their full pintail. And that just kind of comes and goes. And my group on Saturday, we had a similar issue. It's like, no, you gotta be able to identify. And we had a north breeze where the sun is kind of in your face, and that makes it a little more challenging yet. But just a trickle of more mallards every day, and fewer teal, and I'd say probably 80% of the teal have bugged out with our little cooler weather.
So I always got to ask, because I'm kind of a little bit of a gun nut here. What equipment do you like, Shelby, and what do you recommend? And what are you recommending for shells, BB size, and kind of, can you talk about that a little bit?
So as a youngster, everyone had a Remington 870 because they worked in the black sands of the Potholes Reservoir. And if you've ever been to the sand dunes, everything you own will have sand in it, and that's just part of the gig.
Right.
And over the years, the auto loaders became a lot more reliable. And, you know, as steel shot became the mandatory deal, 3.5-inch loads or 10 gauges became the norm. And now we're going back the other direction. They've improved the loads so much. I don't shoot 3.5-inch shells. 3-inch shells are fine. The 3.5s kick like a mule and break guns.
I use them for geese.
Excuse me.
I use them for geese, but now, you know, those 3-inch shells are getting it done for duck all day long.
Well, and beyond that, some of the new bismuth and non-toxic loads,
right?
2 3/4 number 5 with copper-plated bismuth is exactly like shooting lead in days of old, and you know, cripple creeping away at 65 yards, and you can stone it. So pretty neat time to be a waterfowl.
You can stone it, yeah.
More expensive than you know, steel, but even, well, all the ammo, $10 boxes of steel are a thing of the past.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the ability to reach out and touch these ducks at a distance now is, you know, especially if you're running a tighter choke and some of these loads that you're expressing. I mean, you can get out there 40, 50 yards comfortably and knock these birds down, not just send them away wounded. You know, it's pretty impressive.
Well, and beyond that, you know, my job, I'm not shooting first. I'm batting cleanup.
Yep.
And it just saves me a lot of time in a kayak chasing cripples. And, you know, those crippled birds, they're just not good for anything except for the hawks. And we try to minimize that whenever possible.
Hey, we got a little bit of time left here, Shelby. So talk a little bit, if you would, on your operation, the guided versus non-guided opportunity for folks to take advantage of.
So our non-guided hunts on potholes have been operating since the 50s, and we give you a ride from the Braaten Resort dock to a blind all set up, decoys already set, with a kayak to retrieve your birds, because a lot of guys don't have dogs, and pick you up mid-afternoon, and that's a big portion of our business still. We also offer guided hunts where we do the calling, cook your lunch, run our retrievers, and we do guided field hunts for both ducks and geese, primarily geese, but we do some field duck hunting as well.
Sure. Awesome. And hey, before I let you go, what's the outlook on the old snow geese looking like? I know up north here, talking with our buddy Aaron Peterson and Mike Surdick and a few others have indicated there is a ton of snow geese in early and huge numbers this year. What's it looking like over on the east side? You got a big influx of them already?
We had snows here before the opener, and we cannot shoot snows until November 5.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have already harvested quite a few, just as incidental to our duck hunts. And we'll find out here Saturday. Goose Group is hunting the field that's had snows and Canadians in it, and so we'll just see how that pans out. But they haven't been shot at all, so that doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah. I didn't look at the regs east side. Are you limited on days of the week on the snows over there?
Yeah, same as our dark geese, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. Kind of thought so, but I wasn't 100%
And the
sure.
reason for the late start, the November start, is because of our new spring season. Just the last 2 years, we've been able to have a spring season.
Yeah, they extend that out after it closes, reopens, and then you get that nice warm weather to go after them. It's kind of a nice little novelty. Hey, well, great info as always, and you know, never enough time. We're going to have to get out of studio here real shortly, but can't wait to close this thing down, get on the road. Find my way to your basement for the night and get up in the morning and meet you at the dock, and let's go kill some birds.
We'll see you in the AM. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. Take care. You. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yep, Shelby Ross, Ross Outdoor Adventures. Look him up. Facebook, all the social media platforms, actually. Go to www.rossoutdooradventures.com. He's running waterfowl all through the season, walleye trips all through the fall and winter and into spring, obviously. The walleye fishing over there at Potholes at times can be second to none. Smallmouth fishing. They have places to stay over there through the Modern Resort, and it's all inclusive, man. You can get with Shelby via online. They'll They'll book your place to stay, put your package together, a couple days of hunting, extremely reasonable. I think you can do the self-guided as he was talking about. If you don't have a dog, you got the kayaks to go out there that they provide, and I think $175 a day.
Man, that's a steal.
A couple days of hunting, seven birds. I mean, it's just a great way to relax, get away from it all, enjoy some nice weather, believe it or not. Might be blowing, might be a little damp at times, but for the most part, I mean, it's duck hunting. You're in a duck blind. It's just a great way to spend a day. Okay, appreciate Shelby jumping on. We are going to flame run over there to see him, and we'll be shooting ducks in the morning. We're going to jump out for a quick and final break. We'll come back in just a few minutes here to close out the show. Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. Tommy, that's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
Goes by quick.
Yeah.
I want to thank our guests, Eric Braaten with Max Lure, and of course, Shelby Ross, Outdoor Adventures, who we just spoke to. We got to get on out of here because I got to get in the truck and head east. And
you better drink some of that coffee first, though.
I am going to jump on, brewing up a pot, throw it in the thermos, hit the road with my Fisherman's Brew in tow. I suggest you do the same. Go to www.fishermansbrew.com. Check them out. And remember, 5% of the proceeds are going towards salmon recovery here in the Northwest, which is very important. These boys are going to make a name for themselves in Northwest, Tom, and we're going to be right there to support them the entire way. So fishermansbrew.com, please pay attention and, pay them a little money, get some coffee, and give it a go. It's great tasting stuff. Also, hey, Tommy, got to remind everybody that our content is up Friday morning, fresh and relevant for your travels to work. If you didn't catch the whole show or want to go back and catch part of it, you don't have to watch it necessarily. You'll catch some of our better segments that we put into our podcast, released for every Friday morning on your commute to work and through the weekend, and go back and listen to it at any time. So some of these interviews with our guests on our podcast, you can find it on all the main platforms, Spotify, where else are we finding it? iTunes and Google, all the different platforms. Apple is one of the more popular ones most folks are tuning into nowadays. So check out the Fish Hunt Northwest podcast, brought to you every Friday morning. Additionally, hey, I want to remind everybody, jump on board tomorrow morning. We'll put it out there. You'll probably get notified if you follow us on our Facebook page. And if you don't, you should. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Go to our Instagram. Follow all the content we're providing each and every week and daily in some regards. But if you are following us, you'll get a notification tomorrow morning when we go live from the duck blind with our buddy Shelby Ross. And as you sit in your cubicle and have your meetings, you can watch us blast ducks. Huh?
I'm gonna heckle you and JJ.
Most people do. Yeah. We're looking forward to a good time. We're gonna bring that to you live. Typically we have good connectivity out there, so I can't wait. Live from the duck blind is always a good time. So hey, that's gonna do it for us this week. Tommy, any final words?
Oh no, I'm ready to hit the elk hills again.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
So we got more hunts on your agenda. Make sure you tune in with us next week. Tommy's going to walk us through some fantastic information on ballistics. I got a great guest lined up for next week as well from the east side once again with all the fishing opportunity over there. Don't want to miss this gentleman. He's always insightful and entertaining. Okay, with that, get out there, have a great week, get through the weekend, do it safe. Lots of water falling, means the rivers are rising. Fishing's going to be on the back burner for a few days, but once these rivers begin to drop, man, loaded with chum, loaded with coho, the coho numbers just are not stopping, Tommy. So there is a lot of great opportunity coming. We've gone to the east side this week because of all the rain we got here on the west side, but next week we're going to be back on top of our fishing game. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Fish Hunt Northwest. We'll see you next Thursday right here, 6 p.m.